season is here, and I'm joined by Brad Klier and Evan Abenstein to round up the best stories from the first week. So guys, we had a couple starters, including Gordon Hayward and Kawhi Leonard, arrested during the first week of the season. Is this bad? Is this a bad sign for the rest of the season for those guys?
No. Kawhi Leonard sat out all but 9 games last season. Gordon Hayward, he got hurt in the first game of the season. Both had season-long injuries that clearly affected them and into the summer. So just giving them time to rest early in the season just to make sure that they're healthy and don't get hurt again. It's a smart move.
You play for May and June. You don't play for October.
Exactly.
It's not even a question.
Interesting to note, the Celtics and Raptors both won the games where those two guys were rested, so it worked.
They have good teams around them. Plus, those teams have to learn how to win without their star player in order for them to be a successful team.
Let's move on to LeBron and the LA and the Lakers. They still are yet to win a game after last night's loss to the Spurs. Is he going to have to carry this team this year?
I think it's to be determined. We have to wait until December 15th, at which point Lance Stevenson, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, all of those contracts that were signed in the offseason become tradable. If it gets to a point where they are looking from the outside in to the playoff picture at that point in time, maybe they can make some moves to juggle the roster. However, carry is a bit strong. Will he have to be the focal point and play at a high level? Yes. But they played 3 teams who are going to make the playoffs in these 3 games, and they were very close to winning each of the 3 games. So
yeah,
I wouldn't say
LeBron carrying them to that position.
Let's
be. What do you mean? He put up incredible stats in these first 3 games, and the Lakers just don't have the talent around him.
You don't score 142 points if one person's carrying your team.
Well, you do when you don't play any defense, and that's not on LeBron. But exactly, it's not on LeBron. It's on the rest of his team for not stepping up.
No. I wasn't making the point based off of what they gave up. I was making the point the team as a whole scored 142 points. The game before, they scored over 100 points each of the 3 games.
Do you want to know why they scored that many points versus the Lakers, these teams? It's because...
Well, we're not debating defense. I thought we were debating the caliber.
Yeah, I'm getting there. It's because the Lakers just don't have the talent. They have one player that they signed besides LeBron James, with a player efficiency rating over the league average of 15. That's Rajon Rondo.
Does Brandon Ingram not exist?
Not one player returning to the Lakers from last season has a player efficiency rating
but we're
over
also
the league
factoring
average.
in, but by doing that, that's a very... Okay.
It sounds like LeBron is going to have to do most of the work, as he has done his whole career. Last year, the average age of the Lakers 24, so they're still a young team minus LeBron. So let's talk about the G League, guys. We know what happened with the G League. They're offering these contracts to players to play there instead of going to college. How is this going to affect the development of the next generation stars, Evan?
I think this is kind of like an alternative to going to Europe for players. We've seen it with a couple cases in Brandon Jennings, Emmanuel Mudiay. They decide to go abroad instead of going to college, and they make a little bit of money there. These still both were top 10 picks in their respective drafts, but it hasn't really worked out for both of them. Mudiay is struggling on the Knicks right now. He's not even in the rotation. Jennings, he's in China right now. Hasn't really worked out for them. I'm kind of worried that going to the G League, it's kind of going to result in the same thing. I think the structure of college and having scouts go to all those games and playing against people your age, and only against people your age too,
I think
is very important.
Let's look at a prime example that just happened recently. Darius Baisley left Syracuse to go play in the G League, and his agent Rich Paul advised him that it was not worth doing so. $125,000 relative to the sum that you will get once you're in the NBA is minuscule. To get your draft stock in the best position possible and to have the best enjoyable one-year experience, you go the college route. I think the G League, where you're seeing guys play against older veterans who have something to prove, it's not going to help draft stocks. It's going to hurt draft stocks.
Exactly. We saw that happen with Mitchell Robinson. He was a top 10 talent coming out of high school. He drops out of Western Kentucky to train on his own, and he became a second-round pick.
Training on your own is fine.
We haven't seen too many instances where college hurts players, so I don't see why they don't do that. It's going to be interesting to see, though, moving forward, how the G League is impacting that recruiting, though. Up next, we got Blake, Josh, and Andrew talking about NFL awards. Stick around.